was, oh, that's okay. Oh no, no. And so let me think. So his only son was killed at the tender age of, he was about 20 years old, by senseless gang violence. A child of 14-year-old named Tony Hicks shot him while he's delivering pizza to be accepted by the gang. And so what happened was, this child was the first in California to ever be tried as an adult of 14 years old. And because the policy had changed to have a child of 14 be tried as an adult in this situation. So Azim, the world exploded before him, and but then he got into his spirituality and knew that he has to forgive, and he defended and stood up for the child and forgave him for what he did, and stood up for restorative justice, for so that he wouldn't be tried, and he was given he was going to be given 25 years to life in prison. And Azim actually advocated for him. Azim worked with his mentor and his father, in quotation marks, who was his Tariq's, I meant to say Tony Hicks, the killer, his grandfather. So his grandfather, Tony Hicks's grandfather, who was his number one mentor, teamed up with Azim Khamisa after Azim started doing this work. And together they began doing presentations and a lot of work, intricate, a lot of work with communities in high school. Like, I don't, for lack of better words, like scared straight, like this is what can happen if you join a gang. And the communities where they worked the hardest in, where they worked consistently in, like parts of San Diego where he lives, and also parts of the Bay Area, the education, the high school graduation rate actually raised, and the murder rate dropped. So we want to bring him to, I hope you'd want to bring him to Pomona. Yeah. Yeah, that'll be a proposal. And and he has come here. He says, Azim Khamisa says he wants to help make Pomona a hub for world peace and restorative justice. So that's what we're working on too, having Pomona be a hub, and Pomona Valley. And
Yeah.
so yeah, he's a motivational speaker and an activist. Oh, he's one of the pillars for the world peace, for the Nancy Merritt, what Nancy Merritt has been working on for about 20 years, and that's the peace Department of Peace Building. Yeah, he's a huge part of it, a huge spokesperson and pillar for that as well. So when I was young, it's called Tariq the Morning Star. And after I wrote this, Azim Khamisa literally told me face to face that his son's, Tariq's name means morning star. It means that. So so I see it as like a new beginning. And here we go. When I was young, my mama taught me to be okay, that was practice. Yay! Now is going to be the poem. It's called The Morning Star. When I was young, my mama taught me to be good is to forgive. When you have love deep in your heart, this love is yours to give. I was taught about a savior who practiced love and peace. They led me by example, told me love contains the keys. Now I'm older and experienced, and I search for peace within. I must admit I can get angry with strangers as to kin. I traveled high and low, searching for solutions, trying to teach about forgiveness as we hear vengeance and retribution. Though I'm trying to practice love, I admit I've been a preacher. When it comes down to forgiveness, I'd like to be student and teacher. I met a man the other day. Azim Khamisa is his name. I met him in Pomona, and I'm so glad he came. He traveled across the seas, searching for a better life. He set sail for America to leave violence and strife. He married Almas, had a child, Tariq, their only son. But at the tender age of 20, he fell victim to a gun. The family's heart was broken. Justice seemed just right. Lock the killer up for life, prison all day and night. The killer was a mere 14 years old. News traveled around the nation. Azim prayed to God, and God is great. Tony's also God's creation. Azim met the family of Tony Hicks, the killer of his son. Who's going to stop this violent cycle? Azim said, I'll be the one. It's children killing children, the gangs of the USA. It's going to take more than preaching. It's not enough to pray. Prayer must be met with action to create a better way. And we shall begin a movement. Perhaps you'll join today. Tariq Khamisa lives through us. His legacy will shine. For his father lives the simple rule: to forgive is divine. We've seen violence from the start of time, since Abel was killed by Cain. But if we break this cycle, Tariq's death won't be in vain. And now there's a foundation that bears the name Tariq. It gives hope to the hopeless, gives earth to the meek. I write this in Pomona, where we're not immune to violence. Let our actions speak louder than words. Let's break all this silence. For mightier than a bullet, more powerful than hatred's wrath. Shalom, shalom, salam, peace, ahimsa. I call it the perfect path. See, Pomona's reawakening. There's so much work to do. Creating compassionate communities. With compassion, we'll start anew. Tariq's legacy of love lives on, from Pomona to afar. They say he died in San Diego, but Tariq's now a shining star. Above the desert is the morning star, la estrella del amanecer, like the stars above Pomona, just like Mama said. So it's time to heal the world today, for Tariq has touched our heart. We thought we saw the end of a life, but what we see is the very start. And that is the poem about Tariq Khamisa and about Pomona and what we are doing in Pomona, starting a movement, joining all the movements together and creating peace on earth. Thank you. Now what?
Now what?